what is stress now?
Stress is anxiety.
Okay, what else?
Tension.
Tension. We've described the stress, and it is exactly as you said, anxiety. You have a feeling of anxiety, discomfort, and then overwhelming sensations, different sensations, which creates anxiety, which creates all these emotions that we are talking about, sadness. Yes. So, how are we creating stress? How do we create stress? Your thoughts create stress, right? Anything else that can create stress in you? Situations, yeah. Okay, so different situations can create stress, right? Why would they create stress in you? First of all, let's see, where is the stress created? It's created in your mind, right? So because it's your thoughts, no matter what the situation is, no matter what the outer circumstances are, and also, but it is because you start thinking, oh, I can deal with this, So actually, it is the thoughts that are creating stress inside you. So thoughts are nothing but in your mind, right? Everything is being created in your mind. So when something you understand that this is being created in your mind, and it is giving you the sensations or the emotions. Now every thought has an emotion attached, right? So if it's a negative thought, naturally it's going to have a negative kind of an emotion attached to it. So basically stress is nothing but your own making. You are doing it yourself, right? Yes, in your subconscious mind, you use it with your old thoughts, some memories come up, and then they also can create thought, stress, right? Old memories. Why this happened to me, or why is this happening to me, whatever the reason, but those can also. But eventually it is being created in your own whole body. All your 5 bodies are getting that message that you don't like something, or you are not happy about something, you are discomforted by something else. So that is creating those emotions, and that is creating stress. Now stress is a word that we use in general idea. It is a general word that we use to tell you that you don't, that you are creating something that you are not enjoying. So there is a thought which is related to the emotion. So that thought is the one that is creating the stress in you. And emotions are created as a result of the thought. And sometimes if you are already angry, then those thoughts can also come up to aggravate it and to make it higher for you. So basically thought and emotions are interconnected. And that is creating the sensations in your body that you are not liking, you are not enjoying it. So everything is happening in one of your 5 bodies. Is it happening in you? No. What are you? What's your nature? Spirit. And as a spiritual being, yes, as a spiritual being, what is your nature then? Satchitanand. That is the truth about you as a existence, that you always exist. You do not take birth or death. Doesn't happen because you are a spiritual being. You are an energy being. Does the energy gets destroyed? No. What happens to the energy? It recycles, you could say, or it can manifest in different forms. It can it can be a chair right now, and it can transform into a table tomorrow. So it can remanifest in a different ways, but it cannot be destroyed or created. So it just exists. So you are that energy. So if you think that you are the energy, if you believe that you are the energy, can you be destroyed, created? Nothing. No. Right? So that is one aspect of your nature, that you always exist. Now if you leave this body, physical body, and move on to the next wherever you want to go, heaven, hell, and then after that you are still alive there. You are not dead. Whether you believe in reincarnation or not, it doesn't matter. But Wherever you are going, you are going to be alive there. You're not going to be called as a dead soul, right? So you are always alive. So that is the truth about us, that we always exist. So existence is the first nature. Second nature is awareness. So our awareness is awareness of knowledge. We are full of knowledge, and as we grow in our awareness, we are able to tackle all the problems, we are able to tackle all kinds of stress in a better way. Now, what do you mean by awareness again? When you are fully aware, what happens? You know, you can focus on the problem and even find a solution to it, right? But if you are not in awareness, if you are kind of a half conscious, are you able to focus on the solutions? Awareness means, right now, why are we not fully aware? Because our nature is to be fully aware, full of knowledge. Why is it that we are not able to access to that awareness level? Nature is awareness, and why we are not fully aware is simply because we are using 5 bodies, which is full of information, and that information is also negative and positive, both. And that information is kind of covering our awareness. It's taking up so much of our time and our attention that we are not able to focus on the real solutions to the problems that come up, because our mind is going here and there and 10 places at the same time. Now, that is our second nature. And third is your bliss. Bliss is your nature. Happiness, love, joy, peace. That's your nature. But are you guys in joy, peace, love and happiness?
Yeah.
You can, but not all the time. Why you guys not all the time? Because if that's your nature, you should be seated in that bliss all the time, in the peace, love, happiness, joy. You are blocking it by your own stress, right? So stress is caused in our own minds by our own thoughts, right? So we have discussed it. How do we release those thoughts? We first have to evaluate those thoughts, whether they are garbage thoughts or not, and we know that how to do that from 3 points, right? And what are those 3 points? Whether that thought is to the truth, or is it just my imagination that's playing havoc in my mind? So from the point of truth, you have to examine that thought. Second is from the point of usefulness. Is it a useful thought to keep, or is it a garbage thought again? And then third is it a kind thought, or again unkind, is creating stress in me? So if it's creating stress in me, what do? We have to replace that thought with something positive. So that process is called mindfulness, right? So that process of where you are watching your thought, you are a spectator and watching your mind basically, and your intellect body, and you want whatever is coming up. So now when you become a spectator, what have you done? You have created a distance between you and your mind. When you say, I'm stressed, stress is happening in one of your bodies. Is it happening in you?
No.
Who's watching? There's somebody who's watching that there's stress happening,
Yeah.
right?
Spirit.
That spirit. So the spirit is watching the stress. So you are not the mind, right?
No.
Are you the mind? No. So you are not the mind. You are the spirit, or you are the person, or the energy, or a spiritual being who's watching the mind and which is having all these garbage thoughts. So you have now, if you understand that you have now created being a spectator, you have created a distance between yourself and the mind. Okay? Just by watching. What is the process? Just watching your mind. Mindfulness. So we have created a distance between the mind and the spirit. When there is a distance between something, can you see things more clearly? Yes? If something is right on the face, Can you see better, or can you see when it's little far away from you? A little far away from you, right? So you can see what's going on in your mind more clearly, and then you can also look for the solution to the problem. So this process of creating being a spectator is also one way of doing meditation. It's a one way of doing meditation. So that is in that kind of a meditation, all you do is just close your eyes and you just watch your mind, your thoughts, because thoughts are already in your mind. They are already running around in your mind and in your intellect body, and they are also creating emotions connecting to those thoughts. But when you create a distance between you and all the five bodies, now you have the you could say energy and also the opportunity to find solutions to the problem rather than react to the different situations. Because if we think this is happening to me, if I'm stressful about some situation and it's creating anger in me, or it's creating discomfort of some kind, any other negative emotion, and when we start thinking it's happening to me, then it creates more stress, because now we are thinking, oh, why is this happening to me? Why is this person doing this to me? Right? But if you separate yourself from the mind, from all your five bodies, and you become just a spectator, will it affect you?
No.
That much? No. It will not. Why? Because now you are just a spectator.
So you're creating distance to get closer to yourself?
To understand that all this drama that is being played out, which is creating stress in different and sensations and different emotions in your body, it is all just a drama. Because your own nature is bliss, happiness, love. That's why you said, I cannot be always happy. I am not always blissful or at peace. Right? But that's your nature. You should be always at peace. You should be always full of bliss and happiness and joy. But you are not. Why? Because your mind is creating havoc. It's creating those thoughts, which is creating emotions. And those emotions, you think it's all this is happening to me. I'm suffering. So basically what happens is we start thinking that we are suffering. And mentally suffering, or then of course if you continue in the same train, it will become a disease in the body. But first it starts with the mental suffering, right? So when we start thinking that this is a suffering, what are we doing? Creating more stress. But when we think that this is not happening to me, this is happening in one of my bodies, 5 bodies, which I use to have an experience, because I am a spiritual being full of peace and joy. Why should I relate to whatever the garbage my mind is thinking? In fact, I should cleanse my mind out. I should look at the negative thoughts and remove them as the garbage thoughts. Then what are you doing? Now you are responding. You are not reacting to those thoughts. Understand? If you start doing this process of creating this distance between yourself and your mind, you will see that you will always be happy. You will always be at peace. And you will always respond to the situation rather than react. It will not happen in one day. It will take a lot of practice and a lot of patience, but it can happen if you start doing it. I am a spiritual being full of happiness, joy, peace. So when I have understood that and I believe in that fully, then nothing disturbs me. So no matter what happens around me, no matter the world will go havoc, I am always at peace. Understand? And that is simply because my belief system is very strong, that I am not this body and mind. I am experiencing this life, or having this life experiences through this body and mind. Using this body and mind, I'm having the human experiences, and as such, I don't have to react or respond in the same manner in which the others are doing. So basically, when you start creating this, so as I said, it will not come in one day. Basically, if you understand, the whole spirituality is all about learning just this one aspect. That's all it is, nothing else. In the whole spirituality, if you want to read any scriptures, no matter how much you read, how much you understand, if you know this much, that you are a spiritual being, and it's not just know, you have to believe in it 100%. That means you never get out of this thought that I am body and the mind, because whatever is happening, we were discussing that yesterday also, whatever is happening in your own, one of your bodies. It's not happening in you. Yes. So you see so many different beautiful light bulbs and tube lights and air condition and what else, fans, all these different fixtures, right? Who's running that? How are they running it? I mean, how is everything lit? By the electricity, right? So is the electricity in the fan and this light bulb, is it separate, different, or is it just one electricity? It's the same electricity, right? Only the fixtures are different. So they are manifested in different way. Similarly, there is only one energy in this whole universe, which has manifested in the form of living and non-living things. Okay? It is unless we go through the experience of seeing yourself separate from the body, it is hard to believe, oh, you're not the body and the mind. Okay? But there is a proof also, because what happens at the time of the death, physical body is lying there, and what happened, right, 1 second back you are talking and walking, and the next moment you stop talking and walking and you declare dead. Death is happening to the physical body, and the spirit leaves the body. That is why it just left. So if the spirit just leaves the body, then you definitely can't be this physical body, can you be? Because if the spirit leaves the body, the physical body has its own energy, it should work no matter what. But it doesn't. It works on your energy. That is why it's called a dead body. And a dead body. A dead body. And you, as a spiritual being which was energizing this in a body, left. And as a result, it was declared dead. It has its no energy. Similarly, all the other 5 bodies also, they don't have their own energy. Whose energy are they using? Yours. That means that one energy that is prevalent in the universe, and you are that energy, because as soon as you leave this body, it stops working. That's a big proof, right? Similarly, in your mind, people's minds stop working, still you are not declared dead. In the coma, people's minds stop working, but they are not declared dead. Why? Because they are still breathing. Right? They are called unconscious, but they are not declared dead. Because even though the mind is stopped working, it's not available anymore, it's not functioning at all. So you're not even the mind. Also, when I say your mind, whose mind am I talking about? Who's watching that mind? Who's saying it's my mind? So there is somebody else who's watching his mind, right? So you're not the mind. Understand? You're not the mind, you're not the body. You are the energy which is watching the mind, which is watching all this play happening, but it is not participating, because everything is a mind's play. Everything that is being created is because of your own mind. Your mind has a thought, okay, I want to go for the movie, so we go for a movie. Your mind thinks, I want to eat chicken patty, and then we go and eat chicken patty. So it's the mind's craving, whatever it wants to create is creating, and you are just a spectator. Similarly, when the stress happens, that is also happening just in the mind. If we understand that, then we will not get so engrossed in why and who did this and who that. All the nitty gritty will not bother us so much, because now you understand that all this is happening in your own mind and you need to cleanse your mind. That is the information that's coming up, because if it's creating emotions of anger and distress within you, that means that you need to cleanse out those thoughts which are creating this. This is garbage thoughts. They are not giving you any happiness, they are not giving you any peace. So why keep those thoughts? So it's just like you cleanse your home. You have to cleanse this is also a home. All this body, 5 bodies that we use is like a home. You are here temporarily, you are using those bodies to enjoy this experience of a human being, as a human being.
So we still have to take care of the physical body?
Of course, you should take care of all your 5 bodies, not just the physical body. Because if something happens in the physical body, who's going to be suffering? You will again say, I am suffering. Actually, you're not suffering, because you're just an energy. Now, if the bulb goes bad, is the electricity suffering? No. Electricity is just giving you energy. Similarly, you're just an energy. You're not suffering, but we think that we are that body and the mind. That is why we are suffering. As soon as we start thinking in a different way, as soon as we create that shift, you will see that those things that bothered you so much, will stop bothering you. It will take time, it takes practice. I am the Atma. So I would always chant. This was kind of a reminder to also it was getting ingrained in my memory, right? Because when you chant again and again something, it goes into and sits in your memory. So when I started chanting that in my mind always, and especially when I was angry or upset at that time, then I would definitely chant and remind myself that I am the Atma and I am just a spectator. And that would shift my thinking from anger immediately to the response. Atma means spirit. It's just a name for the spirit. There are different names, like Chinese use chi energy. So that's just another name. In Hindi, in Indian scriptures, we use Atma, and Paramatma is the God's, the whole universal energy. But Atma and Paramatma are the same. Is that electricity separate from the electricity in the any other fixtures? No. So it's only one energy. So whether we say the God's energy or my energy, it's not separate. It's not different. It's all one energy. His mind is using that same energy. His mind is using that same energy, but they are both manifesting different things for themselves on the basis of their own desires. But the energy level is one, is the same. And from the energy point of view, from the spiritual point of view, we are all the same. There is no difference between us. But when it comes down to the mind level, body level, we are all different from each other, because we all created different things. You see thousands of flowers, different kinds of flowers, right? And they are all beautiful in their own way, and they are all using the same. They may be coming from different plants, but plants also have the same energy. Same soil, same water, same sunlight, but they are still different from each other, right? And they are all beautiful. There's no need to compare and fight, I am better than the other. Except for human beings, no other species does that. No other species, no other kind of a creation ever competes. They all live in harmony, and they all know that they are the best and beautiful in their own ways. What a rose can be, a lily cannot be, even if it wants to be. But they are all beautiful, right? But human beings have created not only this, because they have been given more access to the mind, where they can go beyond the mind and understand that they are not just this body and the mind, they are in fact that energy which creates the whole creation. But instead of exploring that and understanding that knowledge, what have we done? We have created competition among each other, and in this process of competition, now we want to finish off our other, the person we think is lesser than us. In this race of me, I am better than the other, we are killing each other basically. Right? We are all human beings, still so many wars are happening, everybody is killing, and it can be any excuse, it doesn't matter, but they are all excuses. Whether it's religion, whether it's caste, whether it's country, whatever, or race, all these are just labels on this body and the mind. And you can create as many labels, it doesn't matter. You are still not the body and the mind. You are still a spiritual being, and as a spiritual being, we are all the best. Our nature is bliss, peace, and happiness. And how can you access to this bliss and peace and happiness? Through meditation. Now, in your meditation, how many people do see the light? Yes. Yes. But you do see the light, right? So where did the light come from? Inside your body. Who put that light inside you? Because you close your eyes right now, you can't see it. Can you see the light right away? You see darkness, right? But when we are doing the meditation, we are raising our vibrations, and as such, what's happening? When we raise our vibrations, we go beyond our five bodies and we are able to connect to our own soul. And that light is the light of your own soul. Because I have told you the first manifestation of that energy in the physical form, because energy has no form. Can you see the electricity? Can you see, does it have any characteristics at all? No, right? It's just an electricity, it's an energy. So it has no form, no characteristics, except that it makes everything lighter. Because without that electricity, nothing will work, right? So that is the only characteristic. Similarly, the energy that we are, or you could say the universal energy, has nothing, no characteristics, is no form, but the physical manifestation of that energy is the white light. And that is what you are. When you see within yourself that light, that is the light of your own spirit. That's the light of your own soul. Okay? And that is what you're connecting to when we see that light. And then people who go beyond the light also, when you see the light and then some people go to sleep, that is not going to sleep. That is going beyond all the five bodies and experiencing that peace and stillness. What is stillness? When we go absolutely still. That is what that energy is. Energy has no movements. It has nothing. It's absolutely still. From the stillness has come out the vibrations. And from the vibrations comes out the energy. So when we go and become absolutely still, which we call it as samadhi, that is the real you. Complete silence and complete stillness. There is absolutely no stress because we were discussing stress. So in meditation is one way of releasing the stress. Why? Because meditation helps to raise our vibrations. Then the other way is also, like as Mike was saying, breathing exercises also. You can do the breathing exercises, that again raises your vibration frequency, and as such it helps to release your stress. Because our second body, the breath, is also known as emotional body, and our emotions are connected to the breath, and as such when we do the breathing exercises, we raise our energy, and the stressful, all the negative emotions that we are experiencing are always vibrating at a lower frequency. And as soon as we raise our breath or take deep breaths, your mood will absolutely change completely. Why? Because now at the level that you were feeling angry, now you're vibrating here, there is no anger there. You cannot feel the emotion has changed. Okay, so taking deep breaths or doing regular breathing exercises also helps us to become more and more peaceful, more and more closer to our own nature. Understand? So stress is something that we are creating by our own thoughts in our own mind. It is not coming. Outside situations can be triggers. There can be a lot of triggers. Somebody said something, or it's a very stressful situation and I'm not able to handle it, or I have to rush and I'm getting late. So these can be all triggers. But how you handle it is in your own hands, in your own control. You can, if you want to control it, you can. You should, if you understand, okay, if I get late, what's the big deal? I'll have to explain it, I got late. That's it. But if I say, no, I can't, and something terrible will happen. Now you are not only creating stress about that, getting late, now you are even imagining more things and giving energy to that thought, and that also may manifest for you then. So you are basically manifesting for yourself all the negative things that happen in your own life. Understand? So stress is created by our own thoughts. If we understand that, and we understand that we have to be a spectator of our thoughts rather than become a creator of the stress. Do not connect to it. Try to create a distance between the body and the mind. Try to watch what's happening in the mind. Release the stress. Release those thoughts which are creating stress, and respond in a positive manner. And you will see that you will not.
This is mindfulness.
This is mindfulness, and meditation automatically raises your vibrations, so the cleansing starts happening. So all those negative thoughts which are stored in your intellect body start getting cleansed out. And once they start getting cleansed out, they will not even come up. If something has been cleansed out of this room, can you bring it back? Unless you pick it up and bring it back, it will not come in, because it's been cleansed out. So those things will not, those thoughts which were bothering you earlier will not come up anymore to bother you, because you have cleansed it with the meditation. So that is how the meditation works. So that was the question, right? How does the meditation helps us to release stress? As a spectator, you are thinking of yourself as a soul, as a spirit, rather than the body and the mind. But if till long you have that practice of thinking of yourself as a spiritual being rather than the body and the mind, how do you deal with it while you are still thinking of yourself as this mind or as this body? Because we tend to associate ourselves with the body and the mind and think everything that's happening in my mind or everything is happening to my body is happening to me, right? That's how we believe. If there's a disease in the body, we say it's happening to me, I have a disease. So we associate with the body and the mind automatically, right? So I want to know how to deal with it. When you think about yourself as a body and the mind, how do you deal with it? The stress is caused in your mind now, and it is caused by the thoughts. So as Linda said, we can change our thought pattern, and when we change our way we are thinking and we change the thought pattern, we can change how we are feeling, because every thought is connected to an emotion. So emotions are created by your thoughts. So if you are having a negative thought, naturally the emotion created is also going to be something negative. It's not going to be positive. So what are the things that we can do to release not only the stress but also not to create more stress? And that means you have to release the garbage out into the universe, right? And all the things that you said, like burning it out or changing the thought pattern or just imagining that you are picking it up and throwing it out into the universe, you are cleansing your mind from that. So that process is called mindfulness. Now, why is it that these kind of thoughts are coming? So, the thoughts are coming because, first of all, as I said, either it's a worry about the future or it's something in the past. It's not happening in the moment, right now. So right now moment is, if you start living in the present, then you can recognize, if I'm worrying about something future, well, that's not the reality. And if I'm worrying about something in the past, that's also not the reality, it's already gone. Exactly. So if you start living in the moment, that's another way to counter the stress. Then also I want to tell you was that when we have lot of our expectations create stress. So if we are expecting him to behave in a certain manner and he's not, that is creating stress in me. Or something he said to me and I didn't like it. So our own expectations create stress for us. That's the first thing. So if we cut down on our expectations, especially from other people, because we cannot control their way they are thinking or their actions. So if we cut down on our own expectations from the other people or from the situations or from the things around us, inert all living beings, then you will see that your stress will automatically go down.
So cut down on the expectations, but don't necessarily eliminate them, right?
No, if you can, yes, why not? Why do you want to expect Ken to behave in a certain manner?
You're expecting that recipe to come out great because you followed the whole recipe.
So is it creating stress for you or is it creating happiness within you?
I think it's more of like a bit of an healthy anticipation.
Anticipation, yes. But it's not, and if it doesn't turn out good, is it going to give you a lot of stress? Are you going to really feel guilty and are you going to really harm yourself? I mean, judge yourself very harshly?
I mean, I'll be disappointed
But not,
for a
yes.
few moments.
Yes.
But then I have to think
So
about
that's not creating stress.
Yeah.
No. It is just that you, of course, you want. So that is the second point. That our acceptance of our results, of our whatever we are doing. So when we are doing something, we are taking an action, we want to see the results that we like. You know, if we, as he said, I want that dish to come out well. So if the dish didn't come out well, if he was cooking with, yeah. So if the dish didn't come out well, and if I start judging myself very harshly and really batter myself because of that, then I am creating stress, right? But if I accept the results, okay, this time it didn't work out, maybe the next time I have to see where I went wrong, you know. So what is happening now? I'm analyzing the action and then accepting the results. So when we accept the results, we eliminate the stress. But if we do not want to accept things as they are in any situation, then we are going to create stress for ourselves. So the first thing is, you should not expect things. Our expectations should become less and less and less. The lesser you expect from other people, the lesser you expect the things to be in a certain manner or the situations to be in a certain way, the less stress you are creating for yourself in your mind. Because now, no matter what Ken said, who cares? It's his thoughts, his karma. Why should I be bothered with what he's saying? Okay? But if it is going to bother me and I expect him to be in a certain manner, saying certain things only or agreeing with me, then that is going to create stress within me only. It may not even affect him. You know, he will continue doing, because can you control the person? You cannot. You cannot control the second person, but you can control what you or how you perceive whatever he is handing out to you. Yes. Guilt is if you feel that you've really gone wrong and you are judging yourself very harshly. You don't have to. People are here. Everybody makes mistakes and everybody learns from the mistakes, and that's how we should treat every incident and learn from it and move on and grow with it. But if we sit with it, then you're only going to create stress. Yes. So accept the things that you cannot change. So as I was saying, so the first point is stop your expectations, bring it to down. As less expectations, as much you will be happier and peaceful within your mind. Okay. The more expectations, the more it's going to cause stress. So limit your stress. If you can bring it down to zero, that's the best. You will be the most peaceful person in the world. Okay. Secondly, accept whatever the results are, whatever the situation is. Accept people as they are. Accept the things around you as they are. If you can change them for the better, go ahead. I'm not telling you to just accept things and don't try to change them. Change them if you can. But if you cannot, if they are beyond your reach, then you have to just accept it and move on. Okay? So acceptance is very, very important, because when we do not accept things, then that creates a lot of stress in our mind. Okay? And also third point is to bring down your desires. Your desires, bring it down, because everything starts with a desire. Actually, desire is that apple. Adam and Eve ate that apple, and then they got cursed for the rest of their life. So that apple is the desire of apple of desire. So if you cut down on your desires, then again it's going to be less expectations and more acceptance. So cut down on your desires, try to live with the minimum and be happy, enjoy the life, because no matter how much you collect, no matter how much you want and get things around you, they will only give you joy for a little while, and then you'll get bored from them, and then you want to do something else. So nothing which is non-living can give you joy for too long. So why keep on creating desires? Because when you create a desire, what happens? If you are able to, if you are successful, and if you are able to fulfill that desire, you are happy for a short time. Okay, but what happens when you are happy? Then you want more. So the greed sets in. I want more of that. I want more and more of that thing that gave me happiness. Because now you are linking your happiness to that product, to that thing. But that's not true, because the more you get doesn't make you give you more happiness. For example, if I give you a piece of cake to everybody, a piece of cake to each person, will it make you happy to eat it? Yes.
For a little bit.
Yes, but it will make you happy, right? Okay. So if I, after eating and enjoying that piece of cake, if I bring you a second, I tell you, okay, now you eat the second one. How much happiness will it give you? Little less, right? And if I give you third, would you want to eat it? Yes. So now it's still the same piece of cake. Same piece of cake gave you, first piece gave you so much of happiness. You enjoyed it fully. Second piece you enjoyed it half-heartedly. Third piece you even refused to eat it. So it's not the cake that's giving you happiness. Understand?
Yes.
It is not the cake. It is your own happiness. You are connecting it to that piece of cake. But that is not true. Happiness is within us. It has nothing to do with objects outside, all the people outside. If you keep rewarding yourself like that, and the day you are not able to be successful, what happens then? You go into unhappiness, misery. Bring your energy down, and that will create depression. So you do not want to give any third party control over yourself. So when you are rewarding yourself, you are giving the control of your happiness to that object. So that is acceptance. So you are accepting the results as they are. You are not fighting it, or you are not saying why it didn't happen to me, why it happened to him, why he got selected and I didn't. Understand? So when we accept things, it releases the stress. Similarly, when we stop expecting, that also releases the stress. And third, try to bring your desires down, because desire is the cause of all the misery in the life. My desire is not fulfilled, so I am either jealous, or I am stressed out, or I am even angry, I am upset, and all kinds of negativity comes into my mind because of my one desire. So that is how the Adam and the Eve fell down into the hole of the hell and heaven. Self-indulgence?
Yes.
No, you can indulge yourself as much, but accept the thing results as it is. So that, as I said, if you are able to change it for better, please do it. because you have a right to grow, you have a right to change things for better. Because that's what, if you want to experience something, like for example, you bought a Honda, right? Honda car to drive, and you were driving a bike, and now you bought a car. So naturally it's going to give you a lot of happiness, right? To drive that car. So then now you want to upgrade yourself, you want to go for Mercedes. So if you are not able to buy it, what will happen? It will give you stress, it will make you unhappy. But in case you can afford it and you have the means, go for it, enjoy it, upgrade yourself to Mercedes and then to whichever the next one. So it doesn't matter. But if you are not able to, don't stress over it. That's what it is. Because if you don't accept it, okay, I don't have the means, and the car is a car, where it's just a label, and that too, that label has been marketed so well that it has been put in your mind that this car is better than the other. The both of them are doing the same job. It's just that it has been marketed in that manner, like a purse. Whether you, it is the way you have been groomed through the advertisements that this is better than the other. So now you want something, you think that it's better, but is it better? They're both the cars, they're doing the same function. Let's take an example of a Gucci bag and a regular bag, or a Louis Vuitton. It's just a name. The bag may be even canvas, that other bag may be even leather, or some other better bag. But still you think because the label is there, it's better. And who created that thing in your mind? Those advertisements. You keep looking at it, and then people say, just to fulfill their ego, they walk around with it and they show off, and you feel, okay, I'm better than the other because now I'm holding something expensive. So that is how they work on your mindset, and that creates. But in case you are not able to afford it, it should not create stress in yourself, because you have to understand it. The bag is a bag. It's just their way of their making money. You want to feed into those. Now Warren Buffett, he has billions of dollars, but he lives in a small house, drives a Honda, and dresses up in Walmart clothes. Does that make him less of a person or less? No. It just shows the humility and the intelligence in the person. He can walk around with any kind of a name brand, but then he would be feeding into their marketing and giving them thousands of dollars for what? Whereas what did he use the money for? Donations. He donated 99% of his wealth for charity. So that is a more wiser use than going and buying all the expensive things, because a car is a car. It doesn't matter whether you're driving a Mercedes but he did not even need to take stress over it, how I'm going to afford it. He can, but still that shows the intelligence and the humility of the person. And that is also shows a bigger person. That makes you even bigger than the person who's holding the driving a Mercedes or holding a bigger expensive bag. Okay, so we have to understand that when we accept things and we bring down, so live with the intelligence in this world. Create a life with more intelligence rather than copying each other and trying to outsmart each other. It's better to live with love and humility and intelligence in this world, and that will make you less stress and give you more happiness, joy, peace within yourself, and that will reflect whenever you will see somebody will meet you, they will come into your energy and they will also feel the same peace, same love energy, and they would want to be with you, not because of the things that you're carrying, not because of the car that you're driving, but because the way you are as a person. So it is more important to be a peaceful person, a happy person, a joyful person, a loving person than a person with ego, full of material things, but full of ego. So these are the 3 things that you can do to cut down on your stress. So that is less expectations from other people. In fact, no expectations from other people. More of acceptance of everybody acceptance of people as they are, and also of the situations, whatever is happening. If we cannot change the situation, accept it as it is and try to do the best in that situation. Be the best in that situation. And third, cut down on your desires. The lesser desires, the more freer you are. The more desires, what will happen if you have more desires? You will have to work harder, you will have to take more stress, work harder to fulfill those desires, and those desires again will give you happiness only, which is very short lived. So it's not gaining anything. Ultimately, you have to understand it. How much can you keep on working yourself to go up and up and up and competing with each other? Ultimately, you may create a disease in your, either you'll mentally go berserk or in a disease in one of your organs. So stress is something that can create diseases in the body. So you have to work towards less stress rather than more. This is the way to deal with it when we are still thinking ourselves as a body and the mind. We are associating ourselves as the body and the mind. So in order for us to deal with stress as a personality, then these are the 3 points to do it. Okay? Expectations, acceptance, and less desires. Okay? But as a spiritual being, if you want to think of yourself as a spiritual being, I am a peaceful spirit, or I am a peaceful soul. If you want to think like that, then you become a spectator. Spectator is, you watch your mind, see what the garbage you're thinking, remove it, and just understand that whatever is happening in your mind and in your body. You are the energy being, giving energy to these 5 bodies, which cannot work without your energy, and you are just a spectator. And as a spectator, if something is happening to him and you are a spectator, is it going to disturb you as much as if you think it's happening to yourself? No. So when you become a spectator, then you distance yourself from your body and the mind, and as a result, all the negativity that can stress you will vanish. And you will become a peaceful soul, peaceful person within yourself, and you will just watch everything as a drama happening around you. As proper sleep, proper diet cuts down on your stress, yes. Keeping yourself busy, because ultimately you don't want to be bored. So you want to keep yourself busy and try to create a good hobby that can take your mind away from thinking about the past or the worrying about the future. Yes. So that is all about